Okay. Do we see anything?
I am trying to find your channel.
You could, dude. You could have been ready this whole fucking time.
I typed in mandatory fun time. I got a whole bunch of Weird Al.
You gave me the impression that you were already ready. Now we're gonna have to sit here with all this. Are we ready? Are we going? Are we not going?
There's some guy, John Howe. He has a Destiny show called Mandatory Fun Time.
What does that have to do with you being ready, Nathan?
Why
are you fucking up?
I'm on YouTube.
Do I need to stop streaming so you can get ready?
I just found your channel.
Okay.
Let's see.
Oh my god, that kitten.
Yes. We're streaming now.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's a fluffy kitten.
Yeah.
It's super quiet.
It's super quiet?
Let me see if it's the
The volume?
Okay.
Hello, it's me.
Yeah. Let's see. I think it's okay right now.
Okay. But we're live.
If anyone hops in and it's quiet, just let us know.
Okay. We're going. All right. Hey, everybody.
Yo.
It's Kevin and Nathan. This is Mandatory Fun Time. It's Monday. Doing Monday stuff. Doing Monday things. Sitting here on Memorial Day. And doing all the good WoW things that we do. With me as usual, I have Winnie the Bulldog. He's going to be in the background doing Bulldog things. I got my wife Nicole, who is doing other things, who will chime in every once in a while with a giggle and a laugh and what's going on. I have the good old hamsters as usual, running on their wheels, and 3 cats galore who decide to pop in and out whenever they decide to come and feel. So, I hope you guys enjoy the show we have today for you guys, and I'm hoping you're having a good day. So today, we are going to be talking about a Legion retrospective. And we are in the very interesting time right now where we've seen pretty much everything that Legion has to offer. Beside the pseudo pre-patch, the ending of the artifact weapons. We haven't seen that yet, which is the final hoorah of this expansion, moving on to the new expansion,
Which should probably be coming out like in a month or two.
Mm-hmm. So we're getting very close. So I'm sitting here at the Broken Shore, and we are gonna take a look back. Both Nathan and I were at BlizzCon. So was my wife when they announced Legion, and I remember all the preview videos going across the screen, and thinking, okay, this is cool. We're finally getting a good Legion thing, and you know, we watched the cool video, that awesome cinematic, and then we started getting the preview with like the zones, and we saw a preview of High Mountain, we saw Valsharar, we saw an image of Azuna, we saw Stormhigh. I don't think they had. Was there anything really about Suramar?
No,
Not really.
so.
So Suramar wasn't really shown yet.
I think they're talking about the Nightborn though.
I think there was like preview art and things like that, but
Yeah,
not like a.
But they were
core.
saying. I remember them saying though that we have to go and wipe out all the Nightborn. That's what they're saying.
So yeah.
Still around.
And I remember getting a lot of weird feelings because like we just walked out of Warlords of Draenor, which pretty safe to say is probably the least well received and least successful expansion Blizzard has ever done. I think it's a pretty safe statement. And when they started showing Valsharar, that's the druid place, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That they started showing things with the Emerald Dream, and I was like, what the fuck? I thought we kind of... Oh, wasn't that a novel? Wasn't that all... Did we do this all already in the book? I mean, it's cool that we're doing it in game for once, but... So, what, we're just... Okay, it's a book.
Kind of smashes everyone's hope for an Emerald Nightmare expansion.
An Emerald Nightmare expansion, and I was like, okay, that's weird, because people have been talking about an Emerald expansion Nightmare, or an Emerald expansion...
Forever.
That was one of the most speculated
I would say it wanted expansion.
Whenever they do a Blizzard, whenever Blizzard does, getting ready to announce their new expansion, it's always like on the top 10 new expansions. It was always like Broken Isles, Emerald Nightmare, South Sea, South Shore, kind of expansions going on, and so we have the Emerald Nightmare, and I was like, okay, that's a big thing that they're doing here, and then they go over to High Mountain, and I was like, this is very Cataclysm-esque. This is very Mount Hyjal-esque things going on with big mountains and
everyone loves their mountain zone, so
all the weird things going on there. And then we went over to Stormheim, and I'm like, this is very fucking Wrath of the Lich King here. We're going back to the Vikul,
the Hallian Fjord type feel.
Okay, that was a big fan thing going on. The only one that didn't really give me like a big like, okay, this is really was Azuna. Azuna was probably the only one where I was like, I didn't get all the feel like it was very night elfy.
I would say it kind of reminded me of pre-Cataclysm. What's that zone next to Orgrimmar?
That narrows it down.
Where the goblins are now hanging out in.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You're the one with the map. Yeah.
I am the one with the map. Azara,
yeah. Kind of got a pre-Cataclysm Azara feel to it.
So when I saw all these things together in one expansion, and a lot of these things being potential whole expansion subjects by themselves, all rolled up into one expansion, I was like, fuck, is this the secret end? Is this like, hey, let's throw all the unfinished storylines into one expansion, just in case this doesn't go well?
Then the next BlizzCon, they said, oh yeah, by the way, Illyria and Tyrillian are coming back. We're like
they hit like all, it was hitting all of the notes, and I was like, oh god, okay, so we're finally dealing with the Legion.
Yeah.
We're dealing with all these other unresolved plot storylines. What the fuck's going on? So it was a very big relief for me when I did see Legion be, pretty safe to say, one of the most successful recent expansions, with the exception of Wrath of the Lich King being the all-time, the benchmark, the watermark for success when it came to this game and its expansions. Outside of Wrath of the Lich King, the most successful, and kind of ending a downward spiral, because World of Warcraft was definitely going down the drain. They went from trying to only make raids, reusing assets that they've already had in game in Cataclysm, trying to do minimal effort in Cataclysm. They did what they did, and then let's just keep what we're doing. Let's not make anything new. Let's not do anything different. Warlords of Draenor comes out. People are super hyped. It started out really, really good.
Yeah, I thought it was
the questing story were really awesome. Some of the storytelling was really cool. The introduction of the treasure chests kept me busy for a while, because you would see the thing on the map and you're like, oh, how the fuck do I get this? Wow, the jumping quest in Tanan Jungle, and spending all that time in Nagrand, hunting down bloods and shit like that. It didn't really feel like they had really given up yet.
No.
And then
you quickly hit that wall, bro.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, hey, we're not doing this content here.
Oh, by the way, here's a selfie patch.
Here's the selfie patch.
Hope that holds you over until the end.
Yeah, and and then all of a sudden you get the next raid, and everything feels like it's like they were very, very solid up until Black Rock Mountain.
No, it's Black Rock Foundry.
Black Rock Foundry, And then
that was still part of the like launch patch though. It was just it wasn't even like patch was it we were on 7.3, so that was like 6 point. That was still 6.1.
But yeah, things are looking really good still. And then it was just like
after Black Rock Mountain, the Black Rock Foundry came out. That was it.
Now for me, I enjoyed the entire expansion, and I'd be one of the. I'm in the grand minority because it was one of my first opportunities that I could raid. I was very busy with the military. I was busy doing all these other things, so I never really got the chance to raid. So Warlords of Draenor was my first raiding experience.
But you kind of came in at the end, though, didn't you? Like
no, I was there from the beginning.
So
I didn't really start raiding. I didn't start really raiding until Hellfire.
Hellfire?
Yeah.
I was doing the raiding scene since launch, and that was a totally different picture from there. It was like I had a guild. We tried to do what's it called? High Mall. Get to Brackenspore, and that pretty much killed my guild. Thank you. Thank you, Brackenspore.
So how many bosses did you get down? Because that was really that raid. Well, both of those raids were really really cool in the sense that beside like the initial boss, well not Black Rock Foundry didn't have an initial boss, so that was really really cool. But High Mall, once you got past Kargrath Bladefist, you had a whole sea of trash. But outside that whole sea of trash, you could pretty much go in whatever order you wanted.
Okay, so we downed Butcher, we downed Tectus.
Okay.
I think we did the twins, but then we got hung up on doing Brackenspore. I'm like, let's just skip Brackenspore. We don't really need to kill him. Let's just try to. I'm like, because I was the guild leader, and I'm like, let's just skip Brackenspore. Let's just try coming back to him when we're better gear because we can't. Let's just try to outgear this guy.
Okay.
And no, like the raid leader that I appointed, it's like, no, we need to be able to down Brackenspore. And like, we're not going to be able to. And we got caught in this constant loop where we go every week and we go.
I'm gonna go ahead and pause you there because this is not a Warlords of Draenor retrospective. I'm sorry. We're not. This is a Legion retrospective. So
yeah.
But yeah. So World of Warcraft was in a bad place. We get in there. And it's amazing.
Oh yeah, no.
The pre-patches, the Legion invasions were cool. It was cool to see the talking heads, which we really hadn't seen much. We really hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
So the talking heads pop up. That was cool. Going back into these old zones and seeing the Legion invade, that was kind of cool. Being a part.
It got into some weird stuff though, like. I was in the pre-patch stuff. I had my Lobby tank while my friend who was like had a max healer, like he was shitly geared, but he was like he was just healing me, and all of his little tiny shit heals were constantly putting me back in full health, and I was just tanking everything. It was kind of
the level scaling. Yeah, that's when they introduced level scaling for the first. Real outing for level scaling was right there.
I think there's some things they needed to work on. As I said, like you got a max level dude, just keeping a Lobby like 20 tank alive easily.
See, that was cool. And then the ability to be able to pick and choose which order you went into, that was really cool because Legion put a fire in my belly. After we got through the initial leveling and we got to max level, and there weren't really any raids out, I had first taken my first steps on my death night, and going in on my death night, that intro story was so fucking cool. Getting the artifact weapons, the quest to get them, empowering them. I went first and I got my my frost appearance, and then seeing Arthas as a ghost randomly spout out his little lines of mockery and exposition hidden throughout the different zones was awesome. It was so fucking cool. And going back and getting the other weapons and seeing all the different storylines, everything that they did with the new Lich King, it was so cool. And I at that point I was like, well, I have to see what are these other class stories going on, with the order halls and the weapons and all the different events going on. And still to this day, one of my favorite experiences was going through on all the different classes and being able to see how that effect, and which was really, really cool and awesome for the specific classes. But unless you did every single one, you were missing a significant narrative portion of the overall story. Like, you learn that as the rogues, you learn that the Legion had set a trap for both the Alliance and the Horde, and that the whole thing was bound to fail no matter what. Regardless of what the Horde and the Alliance did, that was going to fail, and that was
supposed to break the Alliance and the Horde.
Yeah, that thing was fucked from the get-go. And they were all fucked. So regardless of what happened on the Broken Shore, they were still fucked to begin with. And then you when you were playing as the Paladin, the Paladins were the ones that found the object that fell from the sky in the first place to tell Khadgar, to go tell all the other classes. So if you did Light's Heart, that was all because of Paladins. Just all these little nuanced things were going on in each and every one, and you got to see so much of what was happening based on the different order hall class, at least at the start.
Yeah.
And that was just awesome. And I had not had that much fun with a particular class since vanilla. Since when you, like, as an example, I remember being in vanilla and I made Undead Rogue.
Yeah.
And I would go and report to Verimathras and the rest of the, what was the order called? I forget what they had their own order, and you would do missions for the particular order that worked for Verimathras, and there was a lot of identity because you got new daggers and specific quests based on what race and what faction you reported to. So if you did a troll or an orc, you reported to the Shattered Hand. I guess you did SI7 if you're Alliance. I didn't play that shit, so I don't know. But it was really, really cool to see that, or like in Cataclysm, if you got the rogue daggers, there's a lot of really cool rogue stuff going on. So there's not very many times where I could feel inside the game that being a specific class, outside of things like the rogue legendary daggers or the warlock green fire, would be another example of a good quest line where you had that was just for your class, just that one class.
Yeah.
It was really cool, really, really cool. Loved all that shit. And then being able to go into the Emerald Nightmare, that was a little disappointing, because I remember going into, when I was at BlizzCon, the way they were explaining, and maybe I'm alone, maybe this is just me and I just don't know how to interpret information when it's given to me, but when they were talking about Varsharar, and they were talking about the Emerald Nightmare was taking over the whole zone, I had this whole mental image of a kind of a weird Silent Hill thing going on, where like the Emerald Nightmare would come in creeping through the zone, and then you'd be dealing with a whole bunch of Emerald Nightmare shit, and then it would recede, and you go back to being in this regular Valsharar area, and so I had just had this image of this sea of red just tiding back and forth throughout the entire zone, and it would just shift while you were playing. That's not what we got.
No.
But for me, that's all like, oh my god, that sounds like the fucking coolest thing ever.
They could have implemented it though, like, because they had the.
Did you get that impression, or am I just alone?
I think you're alone on that. They could have. It's not like I'm thinking they could have done that though, but like they just used the same tech they did for like Legion Invasions.
Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to do this. And then when I was leveling for the first time, I did about 2.5 zones before I was max level.
Yeah.
I mean, I did all the zones and I did all the content anyways, but it was nice to, because like when you're first leveling, when you step into a new, wherever you go, that is the spot that you spend the most amount of time while leveling.
Yeah.
So, I kind of went whenever the story told me to go, Like if the Legion or the class hall told me I needed to do something there, or my profession quest told me to go this other place, that's kind of what dictated where I went for the first time. And so it was cool to really experience on my next tune. Like I think Stormheim was the last place. No, the Stormheim was the first place I did.
Yeah, same.
And then I went to Azuna, then I went to Varsharar, and then the last one I did was High Mountain, and I wasn't really paying that much attention to what was going on in High Mountain because I was so excited about getting to max level and finishing off the storyline so I could have all of my pillars of creation that I wasn't really like absorbing what was going on in High Mountain. So the next character I went to, that was the first fucking place I went to, and it was cool to have that option of being able to go where you want, how you wanted to do it, being able to if somebody was tagging some shit, you could still go over there and get it unless they were Alliance.
Yeah. I appreciate that. That's great. You know.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like you're no longer competing against your own. You're not screwing out your own side.
Yeah. That was. Which is another reason I was really excited to hop over to Hyjal, because Hyjal was a Horde server, and I was on RE Peak, which is very much an Alliance server. Playing as on a dominated server when you're the other faction isn't fun.
No.
Because you would try to do anything, and everything would be tagged by the other faction before you could even get to it. So, I was like, oh, thank God I went to this server, because I would have hated my life if I was still in RE Peak playing Horde. Would have hated my life. So when you go on the webpage, the first thing it says is kingdoms will burn.
Yeah, not many kingdoms are burning.
No kingdoms are burning.
Yeah.
We didn't really get any of that. That was supposed to be simulated with the invasion. Didn't really get that.
No.
Didn't really get
it
that.
Didn't really seem like. It didn't seem like the invasions were much of a threat either. Like the pre-launch invasions didn't seem like much of a threat. They were just like, okay, they sent a handful of demons, and then a handful of demons just quickly get beaten back by a bunch of random.
Then you scroll down. The next thing that you see is play as a demon hunter. How do you feel about demon hunters? What's your perspective on demon hunters, Nathan? How do you think it went?
They're interesting. I mean, I rolled the tanking spec, which is Havoc, right? Vengeance, and I just that I don't know. I like the Vengeance demon hunters are freaking hard to kill. Like I've tried to kill my demon hunter just to see if I can, and unless I get into something absolutely too stupid, no, I can't. And it's not even geared.
It felt like a less squishy blood Death Knight. I definitely had all my prerequisites unlocked so I could play as a demon hunter. And so I rolled a demon hunter. I leveled my demon hunter in pre-patch. I did a couple of LFG raids with my demon hunter. So, I could not get any tier and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I remember doing a lot of the demon invasions with the demon hunter. And, being, as you are, a really old Warcraft player. I'm not talking about World of Warcraft. I'm talking Warcraft, period. The whole Illidan was the good guy, bad guy.
What?
I'm not saying that wasn't the case. But the
still
way they went about doing it wasn't an accurate portrayal of what he was doing, because Illidan, while he was doing the right thing in his own mind, indiscriminately killed everyone. His own countrymen, civilians, women and children. He didn't really give a shit. So,
at one point,
just saying that he was misunderstood good guy.
At one point, he was draining a lake, so he forces people to serve him.
Well,
So
they retconned that, saying that they were just trying to control the water supply or whatever. But
that's still not good. That's not something that a nice person does, though.
Even on the first mission that you play as in Warcraft 3 as Maiev,
Yeah.
he awakens the Naga and then murders everything in his path. Gets the satyrs to help him out, and I'm talking everything. He burns down a whole village.
He also gets the satyrs. No, come on.
Satyrs. He gets the Naga. He is not doing good things.
No.
He's doing things, but and none of them can be construed as, well, misunderstood. He is...
Well, I was like, like was it like later in the story he was told to go kill the Lich King, and so his idea, let's grab the Eye of Sargeras and just break Azeroth to do this.
It's just destroy all of Northrend.
Which has major ramifications.
So, you know, like, it was almost
I remember how like Malfear was like, you know, I get what you're trying to do, but you could possibly not just destroy all of Northrend, but all of Azeroth. Could you please stop?
So yeah, I could see what they were doing when they resurrected him, but it was even worse. People complain about like, well, what about Gromash, Hellscream with the whole Iron Horde?
That was
and oh, now we're cool. You got tortured by a demon a little bit. We're buddies now. People complain about that. What they did with Illidan was a million times worse. It was pretty fucking bad.
I mean, with Illidan, like you resurrect him because we're going to defeat the Legion, and he burns down Stormwind for some reason because he thought that this is a good idea.
What?
No, because that's how his thinking was. Kind of like, I'm going to go do something good, but I'm going to wipe out every fucking village on
right.
So I'm gonna,
Stormwind has
I'm saying
a wallet, a Trifor wallet I really liked.
So yeah, you gotta burn.
I'm just gonna go ahead and just murder everything in the way, so I can go get my Trifor wallet because I like it, and it'll help me, and it'll put me back in the right mindset to go fight the Legion again.
And that's Illidan.
It was a really good Trifor.
That's Illidan though. It's like, why did you burn down Stormwind, Illidan?
Yeah.
I thought this is what I needed to do.
Illidan is definitely a nuclear missile. It's a last.
It's a sentient, crazy nuclear missile.
Yeah, it's a last resort kind of thing. Not like, well, now we understand you, buddy. We're cool now. So you know, but being able to play as the Illidari and giving this group the kind of story that they did.
The Illidari definitely had they're definitely more on the sane side of things when it comes to...
If you want to say anybody fits that category of just misunderstood, it's definitely the Illidari. Not Illidan, but whatever. I'm done talking about that. Let's go ahead and move on to the next big advertisement. What was the big hook? Artifact weapons.
Yeah.
And I am really curious to see how many people played a paladin just to get Ashbringer.
Well, I had a paladin since forever, so I was just like, okay, I'll just
for a thing that was fucking hinted at in vanilla and then made a big comic book series about. People really have a hard on for fucking
Ashbringer.
The Ashbringer. It was like the first thing that they showed when they first introduced artifact weapons. It was boom, Ashbringer.
Then Doomhammer.
And then yeah, all the big ones were first, and it was like.
Then here's this random.
And that was the buzz, man. Can you believe it? You can get Ashbringer. Like it was a big deal. People at BlizzCon were really excited about Ashbringer. Doomhammer was like kind of like I remember hearing people saying like, so are we getting Thrall's Doomhammer? Are we getting Doomhammer from Ultimate Reality Draenor?
It's Thrall's Doomhammer.
You know, like
yeah. Or could we have had like two Doom like as.
Can we dual wield Doomhammers? Because there's two Doomhammers now.
We don't talk about that though. We don't talk about the second.
That was basically Blizzard's.
We don't talk about the second Doomhammer though.
Well, we don't talk about Legion. It's kind of like.
We don't talk about Warlords.
We don't talk about Warlords. It's kind of like the go-to rallying cry for that whole expansion.
But now they're talking about it though.
Now they're back to talking about it because now it's safe again.
You got Nazi space goats and
yeah, it's good now. You know. So and then they start going through characters and they say Maiev Shadow Song, and there was a decent little portion that also ended with, huh?
Yeah.
Like nothing happened with her.
No.
There was no resolution. She just kind of, after the Broken Shore, you never see or hear from her again.
Or like there was that weird banter stuff in what's the dungeon they opened with Tomb.
Mm-hmm.
They had that weird banter back and forth between Maiev and Illidan. And that went nowhere. Like it was like I kind of like had like, you know, you guys need to hurry up and find a bedroom and just do it.
Just rage fuck it out. Be on with it.
Because that's what I really got that weird vibe. Did you from that?
They definitely have a weird relationship. I've thought that ever since the
No, but I'm saying
beginning.
from that dungeon though, like especially towards the end.
Well, it kind of makes me believe that they did have some sort of behind the closed door thing, because what is the last thing that Illidan says before he leaves? Before we leave him? It was Maev's war cry throughout all of Warcraft 3 and fucking Burning Crusade. Whenever we came across her, the hunter is nothing without the hunt.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see what happens to Maiev.
Probably nothing. Probably she'll be forgot about for another 3 expansion before they do anything with her. The next character they advertised is Xavius.
He got, I don't know. I think he kind of got shafted in the story. But like he's like, okay, he's this kind of that chuckling dude that you're chasing throughout the zone. Then we just show up in a raid and kill him.
Yeah, he, you know, for a guy that was already dealt with and they brought back just for a zone.
He's just that
chuckling. He's a really big lore character. He's a really big bad to be brought back to be a one zone.
To be the chuckling villain that just you chase.
To be the launch bad guy. Yeah, he's in Kargrath, Blade Fist area of what the fuck. Yeah, so Xavius kind of okay fell at that. Anduin win. I didn't play Alliance. Not an Alliance player.
I leveled a character to 110 and that's like I'm
but
done.
Did I get a lot of probably because okay, so if they had made instead of having Greymane chasing Sylvanas everywhere, and for some reason made it Anduin, I think that Anduin would have been much more in my mind. But instead it's for a very Greymane is the right choice. I'm not saying it wasn't the right choice.
No, I'm gonna say when did like Anduin like the heroes got his daddy's sword and they gave it to him and he cried and
he got a locket.
Then he finds the sword.
The compass in the intro cinematic.
He eventually finds the sword.
Yeah, he finds the sword. But that's about it.
Yeah.
So he becomes king. He gets stepped on by Greymane because Greymane totally doesn't give a fuck about anything that dude has to say. Does his own thing the whole time. So he's not really relevant throughout this expansion. He's just there, hanging out in Stormwind.
Yeah.
Not super relevant. I think even Sebastian Shaw, the fucking leader of the MI7, got more face time
especially
in this expansion than fucking Anduin. So yeah, okay, that's
okay.
Next we have Tide Mistress Athissa, who was again just the reoccurring annoying character while going through Azuna. So she got killed in the dungeon right away.
Yeah, who really killed
No, she was killed before you even got to the dungeon. I think.
I don't know. Yes, but she's a throwaway character. So
she's a throwaway character. Nothing works. Glenn Greymane. They really, really hyped up this whole Glenn Greymane, Sylvanas Windrunner thing, and then they were like, you know what, this would make a great expansion, and just kind of took away
like,
any sort of planned resolution of that.
Because you got Stormheim, and then it just ends like, where the fuck is this going?
Yeah, it's like, oh, what's gonna happen now?
Wait until next expansion.
And that feeling immediately went away because it was like there was so many other cool things going on. I was like, oh, okay, never mind, next zone.
Because it kind of ended on a cool note where like Glenn is like, yeah, fuck you. And pulls up the arrow, breaks the arrow out of his shoulder and shatters that lance like, yeah, fuck you, I'm going.
Dragrul, the Underking.
Yeah, that was...
The Underking, throughout the entire zone, he was probably one of my favorite... Not one of my... He's my favorite throwaway villain of the expansion. Just because he is doing so many crazy things with his hammer, and just... I don't know, he was...
Why did like people give more shits about like the fact that he's like making small miniature mountains and villages?
I really would have liked to see more with him. But I would have liked to see a lot more with the Drogbar. The whole race of the Drogbar became throwaway.
The whole Vault of Nefarian thing was just kind of like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, here's where he just kind of hoarded all his shit, and that's it.
The whole thing still confuses me to this day, because like when Evan Horn, he gets all pissed off. He's like, "They're digging at the bones of my father." Last time I checked, your father's bones were sitting in another dimension,
In between Azeroth and the Deep Home.
Yeah, you. So did your father's bones just get teleported to
His vault?
High Mountain there?
Or
because that's not even where they.
it was supposed
Like,
to.
like when you go into Cataclysm and you start the expansion and you see that scene where they're hammering the plates.
Yeah.
That one isn't even done in Italian's Lair. That was done in I think it was Grim Batol where that was done.
No, I think that was. Was that? I don't know. No,
But
no,
it
no, that was
definitely
deep.
wasn't-
No, that was it Deep Home?
Whatever that dungeon was.
No, it was the where the Earth Zone.
Yeah, okay, so that wasn't Deep Home.
Because I remember he's supposed to pop out from there,
Yeah.
and he shatters the boundary between Azeroth and Deep Home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
And the pillar holding it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Drogbar I thought were really, really cool. One of the cooler sub races that we've seen. Well, I don't even know. Cooler new race, because you don't see Drogbar anywhere else. You don't hear him mentioned anywhere else. These are not fucking the cooler cousins of the kobolds or some shit like that.
No.
They are a whole new thing.
What? Well, no, like, from what I was hearing, like, the people are trying to explain what the fuck happened. Like, Rathian was supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And they just cut his content out.
That was.
There was even strong implications of what's his name? You just said his name. Evan Horn was actually supposed to be Rathian.
Yeah, and they changed him at the last minute. See that okay, all right. So I feel disappointed that even after it was all done, because the Drogbar joined the High Mountain tribe officially. You just see a couple of them
Just hanging
out, but that's really where it ends. So that was disappointing to see. I wish there was a little bit more done with that, but
No.
oh well. Dadgar, expositioner, extraordinaire, again. I'm hoping we're taking a break from Dadgar.
I think he's...
After 2 expansions of Dadgar,
I think, if anything, he'll probably show up at the end of Battle of Azeroth.
I'm saying... we'll go into speculation about this next expansion later.
Yeah.
But so far, it doesn't look like we're getting a lot of Dadgar.
No.
It looks like Dadgar's going to take a nap.
He cries, and he's like, I fought to keep this world together, and you guys are going to go tear it apart? Fuck you guys. I'm going to go cry in a corner. That's where he kind of ends so far.
So, yeah. So long, Dadgar. Gul'dan. Kicked the whole expansion going. He's the guy that started all this shit going.
I would have liked to see more of him. Instead of going to the Nighthold and getting exploded by Illidan.
Getting wrecked by Illidan.
I would have liked to see an epic fight between, like, an actual, like, a fight between Gul'dan and Illidan. I think that would have been cool to see. Instead of just Illidan like, I take your skull.
Yeah, there's just strong implications throughout the entire expansion. If you watch the pre-patched cartoons and you read the little novelization that they had, that this is Gul'dan's last chance, and if Gul'dan fucks up even a little bit, he is done. I would have really liked to see that come to fruition, where just like you just see the heads of Sergeris just pop out of somewhere, just rip him to fucking pieces. But instead we get Illidan directly.
Or you know, they see him he pulls him back, and they pull another like Lich King-esque thing, but with Gul'dan.
Yeah, something more than what they did. I mean, he's gone, he's done. Alternate reality, Gul'dan is gone, but still one of my favorite characters. Even with that semi-meh movie, Gul'dan was still my favorite character there, because he was the only real badass in that whole fucking show.
You watch the movie to watch Gul'dan.
Yeah, every single scene that he is in,
he is doing something messed up.
He is doing something awesome. And
When he's actually doing something good, it's still messed up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to save Thrall's life by stealing the soul of this deer and putting it in. So wait.
Whatever he does, it's always really cool. So Gul'dan, I'll be sad to see him go because Gul'dan, definitely one of my favorite characters.
I would have liked him to have like a secret like thing or something that dropped off of him.
And that was extra cool about being a warlock and playing through a warlock because you actually steal the scepter of Sargeras from Gul'dan.
He was not happy about that.
It was really cool. So you got to see a little bit more of Gul'dan.
No, I remember did that. Like you walk up to Gul'dan. Oh, I see you're brand new, but for some reason I'm giving you this staff. I don't think I should. But...
Hey, what are you doing with the staff? I just gave it to you to. Yeah, it was you know, it was good to see more of him, and I liked him as a character. I really wish we had something more going on, but well, whatever. Sylvanas, Windrunner. We already. I don't really have much more to say besides what we talked about Glenn. I mean, like that whole thing is just kind of like she's the war chief. She's everywhere in Stormheim, and
that's it.
Nothing.
Yeah, and then how she became war chief was also the most like. Here's Vol'jin.
And he's dead.
Here's Vol'jin as he's on his deathbed. The Lola spirits tell him to, and Vol'jin's like, "This is a horrible idea, but I'm gonna go with this." That whole point where Vol'jin's like, "Yeah, I think this is a horrible idea, but the spirits telling me to do this, so I'm gonna go through with that."
And then, of course, the last big advertised is fucking 72-pack Illidan Storm Range with more fucking abs than is fucking genetically possible. Illidan Storm Range, and I kind of got my Illidan boner out when I talked about the Illidari, so I'm gonna go ahead. Unless you have something.
As I said, I'm surprised he didn't burn down some like either Orgrimmar or Stormwind. Just
from what we're seeing in the new expansion, we're seeing, and we'll move on to this soon enough. I really wish there was more world beside a sword getting torn into Syphilis, which is definitely fucking the dev team least cared about zone of all time.
Since vanilla.
Even in vanilla, didn't even have
since
quests.
vanilla.
Yeah,
since vanilla.
Even the revamp of Syphilis was disappointing.
I guess they're like,
and then they're just like,
I guess we'll do
what
something.
place can we do that no one's gonna miss? Let's put a big sword in Syphilis. So yeah.
Why didn't you just like fuck a zone over that people like? That would probably make.
But I do wish there's when you say that we fought the Legion. Every single time we had an idea of the Legion, Burning Crusade, the time-walking dungeons where you went back in time, the time-traveling dungeons, I should say.
Caverns of Time.
You really had much more of a sensation. In all the launch events and all the other things, you really had a sensation of, holy fuck, we're fighting an unstoppable ending force. And then when you get into the meat of the expansion, not the case.
No.
You kind of go through a Disneyland style.
It's kind of like
zoning experience.
Back in Warlords of Draenor, where they kept saying the Iron Horde is going to wreck us, and we just kind of...
And we go in and eliminate the threat within fucking the first 15 minutes of the expansion.
Yeah. It's like, okay, why did we have to care?
Why was this a problem? We literally walked in, sneezed on a gate, and it was... We could have left.
Yeah.
There really wasn't anything left to do at that point. Yeah, that was... I
mean...
So, yeah, the Legion wasn't really...
No, like, they didn't seem like much of a threat. I mean, I'm sitting here scratching like, okay, so they have the ability to teleport, right? Why didn't they just teleport their whole entire fleets that you've always seen in distant, like was it Return to Karazhan, Upper Kara, the end?
Yeah, where the sky was full of ships. Yeah.
Why didn't you just, I don't know, like, warp those in to, like, over Azeroth?
Like, if half the Eastern Kingdoms got scorched because the Legion invaded. I mean, like, shit, the last time all of the Mount Hyjal got wrecked. The time before that, the entire world got wrecked as a repercussion for fighting the Legion.
Was it the Third War, which was just the Legion showing up? They just showed up. They wiped out probably the most powerful nation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just by accident.
So yeah, the Scourge gets made,
and they
wipes out all the Eastern Kingdoms. Mount Hyjal gets fucked.
They didn't even care about the Eastern Kingdom. They're like, whoops.
And so every single time in history that the Legion showed up, any other time, it has been world-altering. We get a little sword and a Disney park kind of style map, and that's that.
Well, to be fair, that sword kind of kicks off the next expansion.
Yeah, it does. It's the narrative. Well, kind of. Kind of. Well, but anyways, dungeons. How did you feel about the dungeons in this?
They're all right. I mean, I didn't really get to see the Stormar dungeons because I didn't really touch much on the mythics because it just for most of the probably up until the Nighthold, I was just kind of running around doing my own thing by myself. I wasn't in the guild.
And then I dragged you into Restoration.
Yeah, it dragged me into Restoration. Thanks, Kevin.
No problem.
But I didn't really see much of Mythics, and so...
The Mythics I did see a lot of because I, being the self-hating asshole that I am, did 12 characters. And did the whole Legion experience 12 times.
Yeah.
12 Order Halls, 12 Valsharars, 12 Zazunas, 12 High Mountain, 12 Suramars.
You're doing it again because of the two more sub-races.
I'm not doing all that over again. But no, I mean, but yes. I did the full thing 12 times, and that also includes professions. So I did the Mythic scene, I did the Raiding scene, I did all of it quite a few times. I did it. I got all of the hidden artifact skins. I got all but 4 of the the challenge mode tints. I got all the class mounts. I've gotten all of the class armor sets. I did it all.
Fucking nuts.
12 times. So I am intimately acquainted with everything that this. We recently got the glory of the Legion hero.
Yeah.
That
was kind of a pain in the ass.
Kind of a pain in the ass, but way easier than I thought it was going to be because we 3-manned it for the most part, except for the parts that we had to have more people. And if I knew it was going to be that easy, I probably would have attempted that
Earlier.
a long time ago. But I'm happy we got it. It's done. The dungeons were great. I thought they did what they did. My biggest lament, the same lament that I've had for a while, is dungeons are like they've lost their D&D sense of dungeon. You go into a big scary place, you're probably gonna die. You're not quite sure what you're gonna come across. Now it's just a 4 boss, 3-4 boss, sometimes 5. Boss trash. Not really much like exploration. Not a whole lot of like, ooh, what's in this room? Ooh, what's what over here? It's wham, bam, 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 bam.
Which is kind of weird because some of those like achievements we had to do was kind of you had to explore things.
Mm-hmm.
But you wouldn't really got to notice it because you always LFG that shit, and no one wants to go. Just go straight to the end boss.
Well, you're there for a reason. You're not there to, ooh, let's see what's in here. Ooh, there's a big scary cave over there. I wonder what's inside. You don't. That's not what the World of Warcraft dungeon is. Not anymore, at least.
No.
And so you're like, okay, I'm doing it for. I need this quest item. I'm doing it for Mythic Plus, but you're just
Mythic Plus is another
whole different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, the dungeons for what a World of Warcraft dungeon is, it's everything that you would expect from a World of Warcraft dungeon. The later ones kind of felt slapped on. They were attempting to go for, in my opinion, those 3 dungeons before you went into Icecrown Citadel. Where,
You're talking about like the Archway and...
No, well, the Archway and the Court of Stars, those were very much part of the Suramar storyline.
Yeah.
And so that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking like the Broken Shore Cathedral.
Okay, yeah.
Cathedral, where you got the reason I went in there was to finish off the armor set. Was to get to that one dungeon armor set, and that was pretty much it. But beyond that one dungeon armor set, I didn't really give a shit. Like, well, we dropped the... We went up there to go put down the shield, the... Aegis of Agrimar. Aegis. Aegis?
Aegis.
I don't know. Aegis of Agrimar. And what did it do? I don't know.
It summoned
Nothing.
the image of Aegwynn, and she talked to us.
Yeah. Like we see this is where my pet peeves start coming out, and this is where my pet peeviness comes out. So since BlizzCon, they hyped up this whole fucking we need those pillars of creation. We have to get the pillars of creation to stop the Legion.
Which the Legion wasn't like...
We spent our whole leveling experience getting the pillars of creation. We finally get to the Tomb of Sargeras, where we're supposed to use
the pillars
to stop the threat of the Legion. And we kill some bosses. We click an outline of the thing, and then we move on to the next boss with no real understanding about what the fuck that object did and why it needed to go there. It was just, okay, it's like they weren't even sure what they were going, where they were going with that. Being like,
well, everyone thought they
put the hammer here.
Okay. No, but like, no.
Put the tidestone here.
No, from what I understand, that Aegwynn, when she sealed the Tomb of Sargeras, she used the Pillars of Creation as basically as a key so you needed to break down one of the words, you needed another pillar of creation. So to unlock that ward.
Did you get that impression at all when you were doing the raid?
No, but that's the story.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Regardless of about what the narrative reason why we were down there putting those things in, I was just like, well, I clicked it. Yay! What's the next boss? Ah, fuck, we're going to this guy. Like, that was it. Like, I mean, nobody really knows what happened to the Eye of Aman'Thul. There's speculation, but there was no clicking for the Eye of Aman'Thul. We just see it wrecked later. It's just destroyed in the corner before we go on the spaceship.
I gotta redo 2 to notice that one.
Yeah, it's sitting on the floor when you're fighting the Avatar. When you go down in the lava, and then you go to the portal, what the portal's sitting on top of is the wrecked Eye of Aman'Thul.
Okay.
Let me. I'm gonna swap over to my DK so I can show you what the Eye of Aman'Thul looks like, in case you never got that. And then you can, when next time you go down there, look for this same object.
I mean, I don't know when we're ever gonna do Tomb again.
Well, if you might LFR, whatever reason, if whatever find yourself, it was also the same thing that was used during the fight of Gul'dan.
Yeah.
He had, that big bubble thing, but it's broken. It's broken in the corner. And like I said, they make a big deal out of it they're like, oh, we're gonna do this, and there you go. And then Argus.
Yeah, no, it's just because I don't know, it was just a weird mess. Because I like the whole time going to Tomb was like, we need to get into the Tomb so we can stop them from getting to the Avatar because they want to bring the Avatar. It was like the Legion's like, we didn't want to bring back the Avatar.
Well, like even in Legion,
yeah,
when the reveal, they were saying that this power source is what's allowing the Legion to invade.
No, but that's our knowledge. I'm saying the player, like, for the actual character knowledge, that they're like Khadgar was saying, we need to get into the Tomb to stop the Legion from awakening the Avatar.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, oh, this is where they're going to open up a super portal to go screw us all over. And again, why did they need?
And here it is. If you didn't get the Eye of Aman'Thul, your room doesn't look like this. If you didn't do the whole quest line.
That circle thing. Okay.
Yeah, all these different circles, they're not there. They're not there. I only did every single little intricate thing on this character. So if I go back to my other character...
That's so subtle, I didn't even notice it. Because I got the Eye of Aman'Thul on my mage. I just never noticed it on my other characters as I'm running through.
Yeah, you don't. If you don't stop and be like, huh, yeah, the Eye of Aman'Thul is sitting right there, and that same disc is sitting broken in the corner after the avatar.
I can see how you could dismiss that.
Oh yeah, very easily. All right. But yeah, so then surprise Argus. Like, seriously, another moment where I got, like, I had, like, a little, like, dampening of my shorts moment about the future of the World of Warcraft is when they introduce Argus, which is another one of those, this could have been a whole fucking expansion, and it's a patch, and it's a zone. Yeah, it's broken up into 3 zones, but when you're actually running around the landmass of those 3 zones, they're tiny, and they're basically just one zone with 3 very cool backdrops.
Yeah.
You get 1 new dungeon, which is a shit show. It was a shit show on launch. It's a shit show for Mythic Plus. Here's the same thing.
It's different, huh?
It's not the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's just...
And also, when you have this, they have the 2 Eyes of Dalaran on these pedestals. No Eye of Dalaran, because I didn't do all the little particulars, but yeah. This was where the Eye of Aman'Thul stayed. But yeah. So, Argus. Argus was... What the fuck?
No, as soon as that portal...
From start to finish, for me, as soon as I was like, oh, Argus, okay. I really thought that, like, Tomb of Sargeras was the capstone. That was it. Because Warlords of Draenor, we had 3 raids.
Mm-hmm.
That was it. In this one, we had a bonus raid with the Trial of Valor.
Yeah.
Or the...
That's Trial of Valor.
Oh, yeah, we had a bonus one, but we basically had 3 main raids. The Emerald Nightmare.
Nighthold.
Nighthold.
And...
Tomb of Sargeras.
Tomb of Sargeras.
We had 3 armor sets, like we did, aside from the bonus ones that we had with the dungeon and the Trial of Valor. And so I had figured this was just the staple of what they have, what they're going to be going forward. 3 raids, so many dungeons. I was not expecting a whole nother raid. And the whole nother raid that they throw on us is a whole nother planet that is just like...
I never really got the raid layout, by the way. The burning Antorus, the burning throne. So we go into this one part, go kill some people, go into another part, kill some people. Then we go to the part where we actually need to go to. Why didn't we just go straight to the last part? Why do we have to go kill the rest of these guys? Right? Like,
well, I mean, like,
because we were supposed to be at Antorus for a hit and run. That was supposed to be, that's what it was.
So let's go comparison here. We're gonna go back to Tanaan, which Tanaan Jungle is what Argus is. It's basically the same thing. But in Tanaan Jungle, you had these nice little quests here and there that gave you a reason for why each boss was there. And every single one of them got their own little blurb, a little image, a little snapshot about why each boss was there. And it was cool because you knew why the boss was there, and you knew why you kind of needed to kill him. I'm not saying that Tanaan was my favorite by any means, but at least we had a reason to go kill the guys.
Things made sense.
It's like, oh look, there's some dogs. Kill the dogs. Look, a big robot. Kill the big robot. What do we have here? A guy that makes the robots. Oh, here's a guy with portals. And
no, because you guys said you go for the first.
Here's some pod monster people.
Here's the first wing where you killed the giant robot, then you kill the 2 hounds, then you kill the person who's making all the portals,
Mm-hmm.
Then you kill the High Command. And you help Aenar. Then you go off and you fight basically the Black Knight. You know, the Bridge of Death.
Mm-hmm. 'Tis but a scratch.
You fucking knock him out. Then you go and kill the guy who makes all the war machines. But like, okay, so why do we? Because we're in a ship, right? And so we kill those first few guys, and if we go into what is the exhaust, right? Then you get to kill another group of guys. You go back on the ship again, and you go to the Burning Throne.
No, you kill Siege Master, you kill Robot Maker, and then you go upstairs.
No, you go back to the ship.
Yeah, you go back to the ship, and then you go to the upper portion, which is Varimathra's Coven.
Yeah. Why didn't we just go straight there?
Because padding. Because every raid has to have sequentially more bosses. You can't go backwards. You can't make a raid, have the first one have 5, and then the next one have 3.
No, but
wait
I'm
a
saying,
minute, that's exactly what they did.
I'm just saying, you gotta actually have some, like, because we're in a ship, so we go and fight the first handful of bosses. Oh, get to the ship. We're gonna go fly to this part. We go to that part. Okay, we killed 2 bosses. Get back to the ship. We're going to go and kill the people that we're here to actually kill.
It left me with so many more questions, way more than I did at the end of Warlords of Draenor. Because Warlords of Draenor, it's like, and it's over. Okay. What now? Are we gonna go back home and find out all, like,
no.
So we get to the end of this one and it's like big sword and planet. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. And then I remember looking and being like, what the fuck happened to Argus? And I went into Nobble's stream and I said, Nobble, what happened to Argus? And I guess, and so one of his moderators tells me, oh, when you kill when you defeated the thing, what the Keystone did by gapping the 2 worlds, that ends, and the Argus goes back to its original time and space. But that was never communicated in fucking game. I had to go ask Nobble what the fuck happened to the giant planet in the sky. There is no indicator.
And here's a big thing. Okay, so the Legion wants to fucking wipe out Azeroth. All of a sudden, here's a portal, magic portal opens up, and now your target's on your doorstep.
Yeah, the gap is closed. You can just start throwing rocks at your target now, and you're probably gonna hit it if you throw it hard enough.
So why didn't all the infinite legions of the Burning Legion just go, fucking get him?
But my question is, when the fuck did this happen? Because when you're on the seat of the Pantheon, and you're looking, Argus is still right there. Fucking Azeroth is still being dry humped by the fucking Sargeras cloud, which was another thing. I was like,
why is Sargeras a cloud?
When? What? So wait, and then I had to go back to Nobble and look at things, and he shows in one of his videos that the cloud slowly gets bigger. So if you look up at Azeroth, if we ever go back to Antorus, as you go through the raid and you look at Azeroth, the cloud is getting bigger and more encompassing. So his presence is filling the planet.
Yeah.
Again, not well communicated at all. Like, okay, when the what? Okay, cool. Why is he a cloud?
Why doesn't he ever actually show up in person?
Yeah, why is he a cloud? But okay, cool.
Why doesn't he ever take his humanoid form at any point in time?
Until he gets cock blocked by the Pantheon. That's when he's like, hey,
I think he would be
I
more
was
effective.
getting my dick wet in this planet.
I think the Dark Titan would be very effective. Instrument of war.
Why was he just making it so darker? Like, I'm gonna really inconvenience the people of this planet by making it harder to see the sun.
So
watch out, my deadly glass cloud children.
No, I'm just saying okay, Sargeras didn't have a. Why didn't he have didn't have a physical body until the end? You think
so many things were. I was just like, the
you think
fuck
he just
is
be
happening?
Just sitting there chilling. chilling in the Antaurus, their burning throne, just chilling there. And when you see the portal shows up, he just jumps on Azeroth, starts punching something, just starts.
It was so much easier to accept that we're just now okay, we're friends now. With Grommash than it was to be like the whole time I was like and how and what and what's going
No,
why?
as soon as I mean seriously, like as soon as Illidan opened that portal up at the end of burning, at the end of Tomb, like all these demons should just be jumping onto Azeroth instead of just punching the planet, just not really doing anything besides punching the fucking planet. But you know, you should have massive bring back world invasions from like the pre-launch, because that's what would have happened, right? Like
it would have been a bad day.
It's like that's kind of going back to where I said, like, you know, Illidan burning down Stormwood for some stupid reason. That is a stupid thing to do. Here's a portal to a whole entire planet that wants to fuck your planet, and you just open it. What the fuck are you thinking?
Now, I just want to take a second to appreciate the skyboxes in Argus. I'm just looking. I'm sitting here in Macree. I don't know. Macarena. And, you know, we see this tiny little spot of zone that we have. And then you're looking up at this skybox, and you are seeing large stretches of land. These are, like, here in this, like, these are like temples. And these are long roads.
Those are that's a city.
These are cities that you see pieces of this planet, and that you look down and you see the broken off pieces.
That city, what you're looking up there, looks bigger than any city that we have on Azeroth.
Right? And then we have Azeroth as a backdrop to that, and yet again another little ship.
But should there be like fleets of ships, like just like thousands of ships?
But yeah, these skyboxes. Shut the fuck up with these skyboxes. And we're going to be getting, from what I've seen in the beta, we are going to be getting some of these, not this skybox, but we're getting new and these impressive, cool skyboxes.
I'm just going to say, Blizzard Art Team, keep up the good work.
Yeah,
you're on point here.
That was the best part of going here, was being able to see. Come on now, let me click. Oh yeah, interface is on. Being able to go see just the backdrop was just like, so good, and even like the like when you were dealing with the Undercity scenario, the skybox is something we've never seen before. Sun shining down
on
Tearsfall, on the Tearsfall glades. Yeah, we've never seen that before.
No,
ever.
It's always been.
And so it took me a second. Like I was like, holy shit, this is a clear sky.
Why is it clear?
Above Brill, above the Undercity, this is a clear sky. The clouds have literally parted. It's really cool. And yeah, another just really impressive skybox. But when it comes to actually going down in the zones,
or just like, as I said, like the portal opened up, it should have been they could have set it up something like a weird like race against time. We need to quickly defeat the Legion because they're fucking everything over on Azeroth.
But we go, we do things happen. Excitement,
no demons show up on Azeroth. No demons show up on Azeroth after we make that.
There's not even enough demons in the raid. I'm like, even all the trash packs. Think about all the trash packs.
No.
Does that seem like a Legion?
No.
That seems like the guys, like the B team. Like they're like, hey bro, you didn't pass your fitness evaluation. You're not in shape enough to go invade Azeroth. I'm gonna need you to hold the campfires.
The invasion portals that we had to go and like, so the Legion has decided to stop attacking Azeroth and go attack these other planets because they think they're in a good spot.
Yeah.
What?
Even those invasions were just like, huh? Like,
should we see?
Oh look, I'm in a forest.
Okay.
How is this an alien forest? This could just be a place on Azeroth. Mushrooms. Am I back on Outland? It looks like Outland. No, it's not. It's another world. Shh. Shut up. Don't question.
That Blood Planet though was kind of weird.
Blood Planet.
The one where it had the siphons draining the blood from.
Oh yeah.
That was, what the fuck is going on there? I want to know, because they're siphoning blood from something.
It's okay. We saved the whole world because we went into a tiny area on a map with a cool backdrop, and it's over.
What are they siphoning blood from?
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
The ice world is whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
The one world where it had like the.
Well, that was the other thing. The invasions points were so small. Imagine. It would have been terrible, and I would have hated every second of it. But imagine if they were the same size as the Firelands.
Jeez. That would have been annoying.
That would have sucked ass. But that's what in my mind. That's what I'm thinking. Like, oh, we're going to a whole new other planet.
I
Not
there's
smaller.
No, I'm saying there's only 2 of those worlds that I actually have questions about. It's like the Blood Planet, what they're fucking siphoning blood from, and that other one where it's just a bunch of floating islands with temporal bubbles on them. What the fuck is going on there? Why is there like bubbles of random time going on? And why is it we're on floating rocks? Where's the planet?
Just stop it. Stop it. No. Look at all these ships. Just sitting above the Vindicar. Hey guys, what's going on? We're gonna make shapes. You're gonna say we
No,
play
but
games.
as I said, then there's what happened to that huge ass fleet that you saw in was it Upper Kara? At the last boss where you.
And okay, so not only was this a huge departure from the rest of the expansion, but the rewards in this portion were completely different as well. So until they introduced the Paragon boxes, you could not get a single mount from a vendor. Think about it. The answer is 0.
2.
Who?
The Curious Coin dude, the turtle.
From a rep vendor.
Rep vendor. Oh.
Not talking about fucking the Mad Merchant. I'm not talking about fucking electric mummies. I'm talking about actual reputation, have to get exalted, go get them out. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
The answer is none. So when we got Paragon when we got the Paragon crates, that's when we got those mounts. But as soon as this motherfucker drops, we're getting a really old school vendor where this motherfucker had at the Agusian Reach vendor, and this guy, he has 6 fucking mounts. And if I go over here to the Light Forged,
Got one really expensive mount.
you have 2 expensive mounts.
Oh, one.
Well, one really expensive. Oh yeah, and you get and there's still the boxes, and they have 6 of their elephants that you get from the Paragon crate.
I got one of them.
I got one of them too. So, okay. And how do you get rep with these people? They don't have really daily quests. You go, you farm shards of crystals. There's like 5 daily quests. And 3 of them are weekly. But that's so you go over here to these assholes. Well, the big asshole's not there, but you go to these assholes, take their quests. Oh, there he is. You take their quests, you do their little thing, you turn it in, and you get a sizable amount of rep by doing this, and that's how you got it. And am I alone in thinking that the ascent of the expansion was entirely, basically, the Alliance? Think about it. We get neutral Dadgar, right?
You see eight. That's
8th. What?
the Sun Reaper dude.
Yeah, well, he's there.
Yeah,
he's there. But I mean, like,
You got him.
the whole initiative is being led by Alliance races.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying you got Aethys, and that's about it.
Yeah, you have Dadgar. You got.
No, I'm saying for the Horde. You got,
Yeah, no,
You got,
So yeah, we got Varisa Windrunner, who's of the Alliance. We got Erator the Redeemer, who's also in the Alliance. We have Illidan, who's not really part of anything, but I'm still counting him as Alliance because he's a Night Elf. All right, and then we have Mr. Veldin, who is in the Alliance, even though he's the most neutral Alliance person character ever.
Oh, especially
If there's anybody who's more pro Horde in the whole Alliance, I couldn't say a single fucking person.
Now.
Think about it. He cleansed the whole
of the Sunwell.
So the whole of the Sunwell. He helps the Alliance and the Horde get into outer space, and without him, none of the Horde would have been gotten anywhere they would have been. If he didn't say, okay, the Horde's cool to come here too, he even lets the Horde come into his capital city when it's under siege.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Then he got Tyrillian.
I'm so confused about why this guy is in the Alliance. He should be the leader of the Shatar. The Satar? Whatever. The Satrath. He should be the leader of Satrath, not the fucking of the Draenei. But anyways, then we have Exarch Tyrillian, human. Varisa Windrunner, that when she left, the Blood Elves were still part of the Alliance. Or just elves, as they were known back then.
Just the high elves.
Just elves. They're elves. Why are they high elves? There's nothing else to be high from. They are just elves. And so, what do we have here? We got
Oh yeah, I forgot about her.
Of course. We
I
got
guess...
the other, oddly, very alliance-friendly Leandrin. Lady Leandrin. They're not a part of any faction yet, so he's neutral. You got... These are my hunter homies, which are all night elves for some reason. Okay, moving on. Who else we got here? So we have a couple, and by a couple I mean two, Horde representatives on what is basically an Alliance vessel, an Alliance crew. They even got a gnome. This is...
I also like to break up the ramifications that... Because...
Yeah. Here's
hate this.
Yeah. Those are our two people.
Yeah.
And they're both Blood Elves.
Yeah. No, I like to point out also that the... Because who takes over the Vindicar after Legion?
The Alliance.
The Light Forge. So now the Alliance has a basically orbital space cannon.
Yeah. Which is cool. That's not a threat or anything, but whatever.
No, yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. So then we get done with this. We do all this Argus shit, and as a filler, while more guilds get the whole Mythic Argus, which took longer than I expected, especially after fucking Emerald Nightmare. That happened the same night. That happened like within a couple of hours after fucking being released.
Emerald Nightmare?
Yeah, it was Mythic cleared like within a few hours. It was fucking like the first day. It was quick as shit. I was like, well, that was fast. But
burning the tomb took a while.
Tomb took a while.
That's because of all the instant kill mechanics in every difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, one person screwed up, you're all dead, even in LFR.
So I'm logging the Space Goat here. So, okay, so just some perspective here. We're gonna go ahead and shift gears here. We're gonna talk about some of the the retrospective. I don't know really what else to say. We have left here to talk about allied races. Let's talk about allied races.
I would still kind of lump that with battle though, than Legion. Even though it did kind of get introduced in Legion.
Well, in WoD, at the ass end of WoD, we got Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
And at the ass end of Legion, we get allied races. Now, okay, let's take a perspective here. If Russia had a giant intergalactic light speed laser having
orbital space cannon
hovering over the United States of America, that would be World War III in a nutshell.
No, I would be like,
get your fucking orbital space station out of American.
We got nukes. We got tons of nukes. That would.
Yeah. See, they have an orbital space station.
Yeah. They fire it on something. All they're gonna probably do is maybe knock out one site while we launch all our nukes. So.
They still have an orbital space station, Nathan.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this is the largest conceivable threat to
The Horde.
to the whole planet, aside from the sword sticking out of it. What would stop these light-worshipping fanatics from saying, you know what, the Horde and the Alliance are all fucked. Let's just slice the planet in half with our fucking laser beams of death.
Nothing.
So I'm just saying, the Alliance
The only thing that's probably
has
stopping him is Tyrillian.
a very scary... Tyrillian's not even here anymore.
No, he's still in charge of the Light Forge, though.
He's not here, though. That's what I'm saying, is he's downstairs, hanging out on the planet, being with his wife that he can't touch. And where is his alien lover? Missing in action. Where is Lightforge Demon Boy? I'm on the Vindicar. I'm hanging out. We have all the usual Lightforged buddies hanging out. What's up, guys? Doing stuff? Yeah, cool. Yep. Our old vendor buddy, he's gone, but they have all of the crown of the triumvirate, whatever. The Forge of Light and Shadows is
With the Vathal Shadow.
surprisingly empty. That'll probably be filled. If I came back at max level, it'll probably be
Filled.
but that's awkwardly missing. But
There's that asshole.
But we're missing quite a bit.
Yeah.
And who's in charge? Who's left in charge while we go do this thing? Another throwaway character that you introduced for the last minute that I was supposed to care about for no reason whatsoever. Captain Freya.
I don't know.
Faria.
Maybe that. I would have liked to see that crazy priest that you saw in. That was like, I don't want to heal. I just want to kill things.
Yeah. This is who we have in charge of the orbital.
Oh yeah, they also got mechs.
Oh yeah, they got light mechs. But you know,
They got mechs. They got orbital space cannon. They have the ability to basically teleport wherever they want.
could travel at light speed. But yeah,
Well, no, I'm saying they could put down teleportation beacons.
I'm just saying things are out of fucking control. I'm just gonna leave it at that. If you ever wanted to say that anything is out of balance in the World of Warcraft,
As the Alliance has a superior edge right now.
yeah,
Because-
orbital space station
Well, because they could drop
begins and ends with orbital space station.
because they can drop those beacons, so they can drop you just
Teleportation pads, yeah.
yeah they can just scroll up over Orgrimmar. They don't have to blast Orgrimmar. They just have to drop a few pads.
Which
Then
guess
they
what
can
we're,
put
that's
an
where
army
we're-
in the middle of Orgrimmar.
We're kind of standing over Thunderbolt. But anyways,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and derail this whole thing here. But the Allied races experience. When they announced this, people, including myself, lost my shit a little. I was like, I'm gonna have customization options because
No.
we didn't really know how. When it first was announced, we didn't really know how this was gonna be implemented. So it's like, ooh, do I have new options for the existing characters?
No.
No. We're gonna give you a whole new race. Okay, all right. What do I do? Oh, be exalted with these factions. Okay, already done. Because I, unlike bitching, crying people, actually played this fucking game and I unlocked pretty much all. Before they even announced the unlock requirements, I already had them.
Yeah, I'm like, oh,
Okay,
great,
no,
awesome.
no problem there. So,
nothing. I do nothing. Got it.
yeah, the only thing I didn't have was a max level Alliance character. That was it.
I did.
And I got that with when I bought the expansion. So I just boosted a character. So that's how I got my max level.
The requirements.
Requirement done. Boom. You gave me the requirement anyways.
Anything else I need to do? No. Okay.
Oh, there was a little quest.
Yeah.
A little tiny quest, which was supposed to explain why they're with us. If you're playing the Lightforge scenario was go hang out with a fucking crazy
Sapartos.
dude named Sapartos, and that explained absolutely nothing. The Void Elf was, hey, go back. Let's go hang out. Oh wait, if you are the Nightborn, you go and you watch Valera almost destroy her hometown on accident, and then get upset about why she's not welcome there anymore, and then go decide to get Twice traitors
Yeah.
to their own people.
What else? Who were like, yeah.
Who were blood elves, so already left the alliance,
Yes.
and then got kicked out for dabbling in stuff which was not good for their people, anyways. And by following
Which makes
the
no
teachings,
sense lore-wise.
following the teachings of Drekthar, I think his name was, who, surprise, surprise, spoiler alert, was the guy who betrayed Silvermoon in the first place and allowed the Scourge in.
Yeah, no, I never really got that though. Like, why did the Blood Elves kick out the Void Elves? I mean,
Because it was harmful to the Light One.
you could just not let them near. Don't let them on the island. That's it. That's an easy fix. I mean, because the Blood Elves kind of took the mentality: we're going to do what we need to survive, even like freaking.
But this isn't a Lord video. We're talking about retrospective. So I'm just saying
No,
it's
I'm just
fucking
saying it makes no sense.
It's weird. All right, it's fucking weird. So let's go ahead and get these least trustworthy people. It's like getting the Twilight Hammer to go join your faction. It's like, what? Why? Okay, whatever.
But you got Light and Shadow though. That's a weird thing. The Alliance now has the
Two
light
of the most extreme differences.
on their side.
Now we're hanging out.
Meanwhile, the Horde.
The
is
Horde,
like,
we get the Suramar
just
elves,
guys, just
which are just.
okay, just more elves.
You know, I forgot to mention this. We didn't talk about Suramar. When I was doing Suramar, I was getting the most hardcore Blood Elf nostalgia trip. I was getting the most hardcore Burning Crusade nostalgia trip. Because I was like, all this sounds really familiar. They're withering because they don't have access to their power source. They're turning into monster creatures. They are desperate.
We kind of talk about this in the elf video.
We talked about this a lot in the elf video. But the whole time, I'm like, you, unabashedly, sir, ripped off your own storyline. This is Blood Elves all over again.
And they're part of the Horde.
And when they go join the Horde, I was like, well, no shit. Who else are they going to relate to more so than the Blood Elves, who went through virtually the exact same scenario? Of course they're going to go with the people that understand their problems. Why else? Why would they go anywhere else besides with the people who literally went through the same thing they did?
Are you going to join the Night Elves who unabashedly say, we fucking hate you because you're the nobles of our the noble born of our past?
So I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. I mean, if they had joined the Alliance, I'd be scratching my head and be like, they don't seem very alliance-y.
No. And as I said, the Night Elves don't like them, so...
Okay, so we got them. And then we got the High Mountain Tauren, which was another one of those...
What?
Why? Oh, because we have Tauren.
Okay.
Alright,
You can't see how hard I'm shrugging, but I'm shrugging.
he's struggling pretty hard. We did get the Yangul into the Horde. The Chanka are part of the Horde. The High Mountain are part of the Horde now. But it was like, well, of course you're gonna get it. Not really, but okay, cool. Whatever. Now I got Antler Tauren.
Why couldn't you just have the Hosen as like the allied race instead of the High Mountain Tauren?
Nathan, we talked about this. You know the answer.
It wouldn't be too complicated.
No, it's not that it's too complicated. You hurt me, Nathan. All allied races are all based on fully functional, existing in-game rigs. They're all classes, races, reskinned of what we already have. None, zero, allied race, not a single one of them, I do not know how many different ways I could say that, are based on a non-usable model. So, I'm going to call it right here, right now.
Yeah.
We are not getting any allied race that is not an existing model.
I'm just saying, for what the fuck reason to make.
Then they should have gotten the Jinyu. They didn't get the Jinyu. That's beside the point. The Genuine audio makes more sense because they are based on existing models in the game that have gear, interchangeable gear, and shit they can wear.
No, I'm just saying, like, the High Mountain Tauren was kind of like, well, why are they joining anyone? Should they just go off and just be...
Should they just still be High Mountain?
Yeah, just because they seem to be like...
Because apparently the Druids had contact with these whole people the whole time, but, you know, whatever.
The High Mountain Tauren kind of seemed off, like, during the whole expansion, we're doing our own thing, and we're only working with you because, you know, there's demons burning down our villages. We wouldn't... I mean, I kind of had the feeling up until, like, Allied Races that the High Mountain Tauren were going to go back to be High Mountain Tauren afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Their conflict was resolved. They're happy doing what they're doing.
No, apparently not.
Now they're the part of the whole. Now, I recently got done leveling my first Allied race to max level. I have the Heritage armor set.
Which was...
The High Mountain Tauren.
High Mountain Tauren.
And,
I'm kind of sore. I already got the Nightborn.
Blizzard, if you are hearing me, if you are listening to me, I'm not a forum post kind of guy, but there's something that needs to be addressed here, all right? There is a big issue that I'm having with your leveling experience. And I have pictures, and I'm going to display them on screen for everybody. But I was playing a High Mountain Tauren Druid, and the scaling was whatever. I mean, people say what you want about the scaling. My biggest gripe about scaling is that there's plenty of situations that where the leveling experience was harder than it was when it was live. It was more the mobs were more difficult, had more health, and harder to kill than when it was current content. So that was really strange. But that's not what I'm talking about. So I've only done this with one character class so far. And as soon as I find the image and put it up there for you guys, here we go. Okay. Right there on screen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, when you go to Pandaria, there's a little mission where you go and you
go look at your ancestors.
You go talk with Lord Master Cho, and Lord Master Cho, he shows you ghost images of his ancestors.
Then he goes...
He has you light a sensor, and you see ghost images of your ancestors. I, as you can see by my antlers, am a High Mountain Tauren. What are those shapes in the background?
Just random ghostly human shapes.
They are humans. What the fuck, Blizzard?
They didn't fill in the lore for...
They didn't fill in the lore.
Anyone.
And I don't know. I haven't
no,
done this.
I did Nightborn.
You did Nightborn?
No one. Same thing.
Humans.
Yeah.
So, you're saying that you want us to take these new characters out into the old world, but you haven't even finished implementing them in the old world? I should be seeing bold people. I should be seeing... Or young... I forget exactly what it was the first time, but I should be seeing the exact same thing.
You could have reused the Tauren stuff.
I should be seeing the exact same thing. And when I finally got to the Legion portion of things, and being a druid, I was getting my new form. You know that cool cutscene where everything spins around and you see your new form, and you see your new weapon? You know what I'm talking about? You hold up your weapon.
Yeah.
And a druid, you go into your new form, and it does the same spin around, and you see your new form. Have you seen that white and blue placeholder box? It's a cube.
I've seen it for the Warlocks in beta.
That's what I saw instead of my forms.
That's a problem.
That's a problem. So, I don't think you're listening, Blizzard, but if you are, please, for the love of God, fix this. Fix this fucking problem. Because you're insisting that people go back and level. Which is fine. I'm not complaining about that. But you haven't done you haven't finished the job on your end. And so we have so many more allied races coming down the turnpike. We're going to have trolls. We're going to have new humans. We're going to have new dwarves. We're going to have fucking new orcs. If we go back and see this shit again, it's lazy. It's half-assed. Just fix this shit. Please fix this shit. Please let me not see this kind of garbage again, because it just says lazy. And I know you guys aren't lazy. I love what you guys do. I see what you guys do. Please fix this shit. Please. That's all I'm asking. All right? Just stop that.
Still like the goblin one though. For this scene, the goblin one.
What is that?
You as a goblin, you turn on the incense and everything's on fire. There's a bunch of flaming goblins running around. He's like, oh boy, that is something.
I don't think I ever did that.
Yeah,
but yes,
the goblins is kind of fun.
But there were so many just experiences while I was leveling with my torrent that it's just like, this needs to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. Now, granted, the whole time usually when they say like, hey, orc, hey, Tauren, they said, every single time, they always said, hi, Mountain Tauren, whatever.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 hi, Mountain Tauren. They said the right thing, but there are still aspects of the leveling experience that needs to be corrected. I personally would very much appreciate it if things are scaled back to about where they should be. If you are really trying to capture, if the goal is to capture the same kind of experience that you had when you were leveling, in that experience, in that content, and you're moving at about the same pace that you would have, and you have the option to be able to choose whatever, whenever, just make it about the same difficulty of where it was. That's all I'm asking. So just go look at, take a snapshot, take the data that you have truckloads of, and just do a little adjustment here and there, and it'll be great. But placeholder cubes and fucking placeholder humans and all kinds of, and those kind of weird elements that I came across, personally, I just don't think that's very acceptable. And the fact that I'm getting ready to go do it again, and then again, and then again, and then again.
Because you hate yourself.
Because I'm a fucking sick, twisted, weird person that does this shit over and over again. That's my request. That's just me. Personally, I would like to see that changed. How about you? Did you ever get done leveling your character?
As I said, I have a max Nightborn.
Do you have the heritage armor?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm kind of switching between right now a high mountain shaman and a warrior void elf. They're about the same level.
And they're all women, aren't they?
No, high mountains, dude. No. Yeah. Half of my characters are dudes. My warrior.
Don't lie to me now. Don't lie to me.
My warrior,
Nathan,
my blood elf warrior is a
don't do it. Nathan,
My rogue is a
don't
male.
lie to me. Nathan,
My shaman's a male.
when we were doing our dungeon experience, we busted out a scantily clad female paladin, a scantily clad blood elf female priest,
No, it wasn't scantling. It's wearing to tier 1.
and your mage
Yeah,
is
but
also blood elf female. So
My-
while you might have male characters, you don't actively use male characters. Don't lie to me,
I was
Nathan.
using my shaman.
Don't fucking lie to me.
I was doing time walking with my shaman last night. Yeah.
Nathan.
Yes.
Nathan.
I was doing time walking.
Nathan. But that sums up our retrospective here. We have a lot of things to look forward to in this new expansion. I'm going to take a quick, brief moment here, talk about predictions, expectations, and various things like that. And what the show's running a little bit longer than usual, but whatever. If you made it this far, hey, thank you for
Good
sticking
on
by.
you.
Good on you. We're going to go ahead and talk about predictions and expectations.
I don't think there's over here.
Expectations. I don't want them to, but there's going to be more allied races. Blizzard don't have more allied races than actual races.
Or at least
Please.
cut back on the elves.
Or less
And this
elves,
is coming
please.
from me.
Mr. Elf Boy
Yeah.
himself.
Stop with the elves.
No,
you got too
no more
far.
elves.
You've gone too far with the elves.
If you're gonna keep going, just make one alternative for each bracket and stop there, please. If we get a new race, then you can introduce a new allied race. But please, don't do that anymore. I don't want to see any more.
No more elves.
Yeah, I already have 12 characters. You're killing me. You're killing me here with the leveling of the characters.
I just, as I said, no more elves. Stop with the elves.
Now, when I was leveling, there is so much emphasis on the revamped old world about the Alliance versus Horde conflict, and I'm going to go ahead and say the word. It's very cataclysmy. Cataclysmy. Yes, that's the word I'm going to say. It's not a real world, but I'm using it anyways. It's very cataclysmy. And this new expansion is very much reminding me of cataclysmly stuff.
Actually, a lot of people are more worried about it. It's going to be a repeat of Warlords.
I don't see that. I don't see that, but when we had a very near miss with Warlords of Draenor, was just like, you really, you obviously stopped caring halfway through. You gave up, and you decided to say, okay, we're going to put everything into our next expansion. And it was great. The next expansion was great. Don't fall back on old mindsets. You need to keep going stronger if you want this IP to continue going. If the long-term fans get another shit the bed, it is going to be devastating for this game. This is the last strong, lasting, well-played, well-versed, well-talked about MMO on the market. No other game has this length of livelihood, this amount of players, influence.
It's a really big part of pop culture.
So the game is in your hands. Don't let it fall on the wayside.
You can't do another Warlord. I mean, like,
we can't have another Cataclysm. We can't have another Warlords of Draenor. The game will not survive it. So if you just start recycling assets and you start cutting content for no other reason beside can't be bothered, it's more fun to develop Overwatch characters, whatever the case may be.
I mean, even if you have
you're gonna kill your own game.
Even if you have to like take longer on making a good expansion than just pumping out every 2 years.
Because faction war conflict is great and all, and in the old world leveling there is so much emphasis on this conflict. Like, I just did Stone Talon Mountains again, and there is so much fucking focus. And when you went through Cataclysm, there's so much focus. When you're leveling, you're going through all the new zones, you're doing all the things. There's conflict. What happens when you get to the fucking end of the expansion? Conflict gone. Everybody's working together again. For why?
Well, it's just you're talking about when you get to the end of like the
Cataclysm.
old world, yeah. Because you kind of technically jumping back in time though, because you're going to either.
No, I'm talking about like the raid instance wise. There's no conflict.
No, yeah,
There's no conflict. Blackwing Descent.
No, it's just fighting
The whatever the Twilight raid.
Hammer.
Then you have Firelands. Then you have Dragon Soul. And Cataclysm was very much, just like this one, advertised as a faction conflict expansion. This one is being advertised as a faction conflict expansion.
And it's pretty much we all know this is going to change into like a void thing at the end. It's
Maybe not. Blizzard.
well, it's so heavily hinted at.
Well, Blizzard has been known to just shift gears.
If this is going to be a whole faction, like until the end of the expansion, it's going to be faction war. Okay.
But yeah, like, let's not have an expansion that's like, ooh, like this Legion was, more or less, Legion the whole time.
Yeah.
More or less, Legion the whole time. The Disney Park leveling experience kind of didn't really have a strong narrative focus on the Legion, except for maybe Azuna. But the Legion was there the whole time. So let's not have... So going in, we're going to have 3 Horde zones, 3 Alliance zones. And then we're going to have, when you get through your leveling experience, you're going to go invade these other places. So there's going to be 6 zones. Which are, the other places are going to be just quest hubs, really, for dailies. What next?
Well, they're setting up. We were going to.
Now I say what next, because I've been messing around on beta, as I know you have. Those 3 zones, I felt like I was getting through them at a pretty decent pace, but they didn't feel super massive to me.
No.
They felt adequate, but when you're going around the broken isles, you have a pretty decent landmass area. If you're trying to go from one side to the other, it takes a little while, and it's all concentrated right there. But what happens after you get through that? So you're just gonna be annoying the other faction for the rest of the game, for the rest of the 2-3 years that we're gonna be doing this. Are we gonna get a new landmass? Are we gonna get a new playground for us to do shit in while we're not raiding? Are these 6 zones the end-all be-all?
You know what would be trippy? If throughout the expansion they slowly switch out like the old world zones with something more up to date.
That would be awesome.
Where like was it Arathi Highlands, where you got the whole.
That would be awesome. If the new places we have to play in are revamped old zones where the war and the conflict has now devastated the zone, and that's where the zone is going to be.
It's just slowly like here comes Arathi, and then you go to like, oh, you got Northern Barons because of Crossroads, and there's a big old fight.
That would be awesome. But what I'm worried about is that when you hit 110, what big, delicious piece of content did you have that you've been skirting around the whole fucking time? Suramar.
Oh, yeah.
Suramar was a max level zone. Yeah. And it was, you were going around it the whole time. You flew over it, you looked at it, but then this whole new playground was unlocked. As soon as you hit out max level, where's our playground?
It's the other factions.
So, we are going to need a great big landmass to go fuck around with. What are you giggling about?
That's comments. Ooh, wow is love. Wow is life.
So, if we don't get another large landmass, you're going to shit the bed. Because people are going to get bored as fuck. Because as me as a Horde player, I've been in my zones. The whole leveling experience, I've had 3 zones. So, I'm going to be fucking around these other zones.
Yeah.
And me, personally, I'm going to make an alliance. I have alliance characters, I have Horde characters. I'm going to do both sides of the coin, because I want to get the full experience, because this is my new... Well, this is my new order. This is my new class order hall experience.
Yeah.
Is the whole alliance experience and the Horde experience. Instead of doing this 12 times, I'm going to do it twice. And then whatever else I feel stupid enough to do after that. But initially, it's going to be twice. There's going to be alliance, there's going to be Horde, and that's going to be it. So it's like, we have one raid, which is going to be in the Troll Zone.
Yeah.
Probably next raid, probably going to be on the Alliance Zone. 3rd raid, 4th raid, 3rd raid, and so I mean, if you want to compare side by side, 1st raid is in Emerald Nightmare.
Yes.
2nd raid, well, 2.5 raid, 1.5 raid is the Trial Valve.
Yes.
2 raid is Server.
So
30 raid is Tomb, which is another separate zone.
Yeah.
Another playground. Then we had Argus. Another playground. We have 2. Nothing going on in between.
I think with the Argus, it kind of proves that we can't really tell what Blizzard's going to do until they do it.
Absolutely. But this is where
There's a
Legion.
lot-
This is where the WoD fear is very well justified, because we had the maps, we had our garrison order halls. Last thing we got was Tanan Jungle,
Yeah.
and we sat there at Tanan Jungle for how long?
I bet you at BlizzCon, because was it Battle comes out in a couple, like
August.
comes out in August.
Yeah.
Then BlizzCon's in November, so we got like 3 months until Battle. Then you got BlizzCon in November, which is another 3 months after that. And I'm sure by then people are going to be already done with the raid. And then Blizzard's going to go, guess what? Here's some new shit that's just going to blow your mind. Or hopefully, if not, hopefully, right?
Hey guys, and now we're gonna have a solo experience in Overwatch.
No. They're gonna announce something like, we're gonna go shove a boot up Queen of Zera's ass.
Zero. Narjatar is risen from the Notion floor, and now we have another zone.
Or we're
Better
going
be
to-
something like it. I'm just saying that there is the potential for them to be like, well, we're done. Hope you guys enjoyed. There's your conflict.
No, I bet you they're gonna probably, because they're setting up a lot of stuff for the humans to deal with like deep sea shit. So you're probably gonna go to Najatar at some point.
We'll see. We, like you said, we don't. With Argus,
BlizzCon they're gonna tell us
BlizzCon is gonna be the big. Well,
because
maybe,
BlizzCon's
maybe
3
not.
months after the launch. Of,
okay, yeah. So definitely, BlizzCon is gonna be the what?
Like what's going to be like the net after you're done with your launch content.
Okay. How long did we have before launch and the first raid was released?
Well, okay, so it was
If they're following the same
it
pattern,
was 77 days.
77 days.
between every.
So we had 2.5 months.
Yeah.
So,
So it's about-
people will be just getting into the raid.
I think they'll be just finishing the raid by that time.
I'm just saying, like most people. I mean,
Yeah.
like people will have experienced the raid.
And they'll be saying, "Oh, here's this new shit that's gonna be coming eventually, like just to blow our minds even further. It's gonna be coming out soon."
So we were
Not-
we were
and
at
not
BlizzCon announcement.
Yeah.
We were at Legion announcement.
And when they
Next
announced-
BlizzCon was all Broken Shore, and they announced Argus at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I bet you they're gonna talk about how great fucking Battle of Azeroth is. Then at the end of the presentation, oh, by the way, here's this new thing that's gonna make you blow your fucking mind. Because that's what because this is worse than, if this is it with like what they announced, this is worse than Warlords.
Yeah, yeah. And so I can see the concern. I can see it. I don't think I don't think they're going to do that again. They better not do that again because then it's over. It's done. That's it.
That's the end of WoW.
Yeah.
And it died in a really stupid way.
Yeah. Because I guarantee you that allied races are not going to hold the torch that long.
No, I mean,
We're going to need something meatier content than just allied races.
Because if I really wanted to, I could belt out those last. What was it?
Because like I'm
Those 3 other races. I can get those out quick enough.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to.
But like with those armor sets, it's like, oh cool, I got this armor set. I'm already getting tired of the armor set.
I'm not really jazzed.
I'm not tired of it. I still like it a lot, but I'm not like I'm never gonna this is the only transmog I'll wear for the rest of time.
As soon as I unlocked that, was it the Argus normal set for my mage? Because my Nightborn is a mage. I went from the Nightborn look to the was it tier 20, whatever it is. Whatever Argus tier is. I team-logged my mage into that as soon as I was like, okay, I'm done with it.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, let's move on. And so that's not meaty enough content.
No. I mean, I will do it.
Because, I mean, as I said before, I'm working on it. He's level 39. And then it's going to be Space Goat, and then it's going to be Scrunchy.
It's Scrunchy.
And, you know, I'll have all the characters. And they've already said they're going to make it so they're going to give you more character slots. So, god damn it. The roster will grow. But yeah, this is how much I hate myself, people. This is how much. Right here. Right there. Going on. Still going. This guy too. Why not that guy? Over here as well. Here's this guy too. That guy as well. Oh wait, there's more. There's that guy. And I still have 2 more on the Alliance.
Yeah, I don't know. Put in heritage armor for all the old races. that's what they announced at BlizzCon. That's their filler. No.
But I think that's where we're gonna end this today. I hope you guys like the new format. I hope YouTube streamed a lot better, because usually what I would do was that I would stream on Twitch, and then I'd also record it. I would have all kinds of issue with Twitch, and the stream would be shit, and then at least I would know that people could go back and watch the recording if they couldn't catch the Twitch or whatever the case may be. When I do this on YouTube, it's a double.
It records and uploads.
It records and uploads at the same time. So if my stream is shit, the recording is shit. I did not record this episode, so I have no backup. So if the stream sucks,
sucks to be you.
This whole episode will suck. So hopefully this worked out better. Let me know in the comments, because I am too terrified to listen and watch my own videos. So let me know in the comments below if this is better.
Terrified.
Terrified. I'm terrified, guys. Any questions, comments, concerns, whatever the case may be, whatever. If you have suggestions for new content, if you have suggestions for what you would like to see or where the direction of the channel would like to be, hit it up in the comments, and have yourself a wonderful, delightful
the videos below, like, for recommendation. It's meditation music 24/7, healing music, relaxing music. I'm just putting that out there. That's one of the recommended videos that goes to go with this one.
Nice. All right, guys, take it easy. Bye.
See ya.